Chapter 26. The Little People Years. Thursday, July 5th, 2007. My 3-year-old son is sitting on the couch watching that horrible, ever-running children's channel. He's playing idly with his garbage truck and tuning back in every so often to the mindless entertainment. A few minutes ago, that song my husband likes started playing on the CD before I remembered to shut it off. Sonny clapped his hands over his ears and said in a voice filled with panic, "Don't like that song!" I managed to turn it off before panic turned to terror. On his little blue table is a pad of multicolored drawing paper, a cup of half juice and half water, and a sprawl of washable markers. The pad is filled with page after page of the same thing, either www.com over and over again in different colors and sizes, or tidy rows of the 5 characters from one of his favorite cartoon shows. That is all. The drawings are all tidy and precise, and none of them, not a single line, is drawn by my son. Hubs, who's on vacation this week, is about to force Sonny away from the TV, out of the house, and to the hardware store. This will inevitably end up in a fight, a screaming match, and possibly a meltdown. This is nothing new. Everything is a fight. Brushing teeth, going for a pee, getting dressed, putting on sunscreen, and on and on. We just returned from a 4-day vacation in a nice trailer with my parents, my 2 siblings, their significant others, and respective children. We had moments of great fun, but I did have a meltdown on the 3rd day before breakfast, complete with crying, which didn't stop altogether for the next hour. And I did say to my mother when Hubs, my dad, and Sonny were out and Girlie was having her nap, "Why does my son have to be so difficult?" And there it is. Why does my son have to be so difficult? Even his cousin, who is 6 months younger and is polar opposite, can take one look at his face and know when trouble's brewing. She runs for her mummy without a word to lift her out of harm's way. Sonny is on the floor now, whining, crying, and kicking his feet. He wants to wear his orange pants, but it's too hot and humid. Now he's sobbing, stomping his feet, screaming and crying. I know Hubs is desperately trying not to lose it, and I know how he feels, and I know it worse because I live it every day. I see this same battle of wills every weekend. The doctor has told me I have to let Hubs and Sonny sort it out for themselves, that Hubs has to learn how to deal with Sonny. She says if I have to intervene every time, I'll never have a moment's peace. And there's that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach again, and that same old familiar feeling, despair. I have felt despair for nearly 3 years, and by God, I can't do this alone any longer. I love my son too much to be so frustrated by him, and I love him too much to let him slip through my fingers. I'll cry when they're out of the house. Hubs has punched the door and disappeared upstairs. So much for the hardware store. Girlie's awake and crying. So much for my break. Friday. Another fun and rewarding day in the world of motherhood. It didn't take long since we returned from our vacation for the house to return back to its chaotic pigsty state. I can see Sonny is slowly getting crazed from too much TV again. Behind the couch, however, is a box filled with toys he has never learned to play with. There is also a ton of toys in his room and a box full down the basement. Sonny has just put the same CD on for what feels like the 500th time and is asking if he can bounce. This means to rhythmically rock against the couch. I've said okay, even though Hubs says he's not allowed anymore. So what does this make me? Bad. However, I take the hard road so often I think I know every crack and pothole. The springs under the middle cushion back have given out. The couches were just bought in January. I can't see them lasting very long with Sonny. Today my family are all going back to the beach for one last day of fun. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from here, and the thought of bouncing around a fussy 4.5-month-old who must be teething and fighting with Sonny all day has made me not want to bother. They'll be having laughs, splashing in the water, delighting in how cute and agreeable my niece is, ending the day with a pizza, coffee, and dessert. And what am I doing? Watching Sonny bounce and trying to fight down that awful self-pitying feeling that my life is awful and that I'm all alone in this world. I hate that self-pity. I watch the charity ads all the time on TV and see how truly terrible life can be. At 4 a.m. when I was up soothing Girly, unusual now to be up at that hour, the news sickens me. So yeah, here I am, clean, fat, clothed, and about to have a coffee and some oatmeal, and all I can do is yearn. It feels good to write this, though. Maybe each chunk on a page will be a little off my chest. Thursday, July 9th. It's another one of those days. It's too hot outside to take both the kids out. There is no shade at the crummy little park around the corner, and on days like this, invariably, there will be no other kids there. I can't expect Sunny to race around in 35-degree heat, and I can't carry 19-pound Girly around for long, and there's no way she'll sit in the stroller in this heat. Once again, the loneliness is nearly palpable, shut off here in this barely cool house. Just to add to the ambiance, I heard the wind howl at the front door. Sunny is picking fights. He grabbed Girly's chubby little foot a few times to give it a hearty squeeze. This usually comes with a smiling glance at me to see if it pissed me off. If it did, this only makes him happier. Girly is very out of sorts again today and has 2 visible teeth just broken through the surface on her lower gums. Thursday, August 8th? 9th? I'm tired. The past few days have been horrendous. Let's face it, the past almost 2 weeks have been mostly terrible. Sunny's Nana has not been able to come around at all while some relatives are visiting. Sunny spends at least 1 day a week playing with his Nana, which, let me tell you, is a blessing. Of course, that's not the whole problem. The other misery factor is that it's been absolutely freaking hot for the past 2 weeks. Extreme heat alerts most every day, and so for the most part we have been trapped in the air-conditioned house. Let's also add in Girly's continuing teething fun, which has made her naps very erratic. Yesterday was a truly horrible day. Sunny pushed my buttons and I reacted because I was just so damn tired. I don't even know what we fought about. Everything and nothing. My heart, too many times, was just pounding with pure rage. Tantrums, meltdowns, trying to hurt his sister, endless. Whenever I've had some spare time lately, I've been futilely working to put Sunny in a nursery school, which I will explain. In the meantime, he listens to the same CD over and over again and bounces endlessly against the couch. Bounce, squeak, bounce, squeak, until I want to cry. Yesterday was bad, bad, bad. The low point, or one of them, was me sobbing beside the washing machine down the basement as Sunny peeked through the basement stairs and laughed at me. So then I screamed, "Get out!" Every day I fail as a mother. Every day. On July 24th, we went to see the pediatrician. I didn't tell Sunny until we were in the car where we were going. On one hand, it's underhanded, but on the other hand, he'd have fretted about it all morning. Of course, when Sunny put 2 and 2 together, he was sick with fear and sobbed all the way to the office. Cooling off in the waiting room for 45 minutes was a good thing in a way because he relaxed considerably. The doctor was also disarming in her no-nonsense approach with Sunny. Plus, her office was filled with toys, specifically various cars, which Sunny loved. She observed Sunny closely and asked us questions, and asked Sunny various questions. I stated my concerns. No imaginative play, only lines toys up, won't use a car as a car, sensitive to noise, hugs other children all the time even though it freaks them out, has major meltdowns and needs a strict schedule, etc., etc. The doctor would ask questions. Doctor: Sunny, how old are you? Sunny: Yeah. Sunny, how old are you? My name's Sunny. How old are you? Nothing. She figured his language hadn't progressed as it should for his age. Context, she figured, was another problem. Sunny, who drives the police car? Sunny, with a car in his hand: That's a police car. Who drives the police car? Yeah. The doctor concluded he couldn't put something in context by not knowing how to answer that question, but I don't know how I feel about that specifically. If we'd never had any conversation about who drove the cars, why should he just know? Now he knows. The policeman drives the police car, the fireman drives the fire truck, the pilot flies the plane, and he can figure out the rest as he's done, i.e., Mummy drives Mummy's car, Daddy drives Daddy's car, and the man drives the taxi. Who knows? So after interrupting the session 2 or 3 times to take phone calls, the doctor concluded that Sonny is autistic and went on to babble at us about how children should develop. Set him up in preschool, she said, and call community living to have him placed with a resource teacher. She would write a letter of referral about Sonny's diagnosis. Oh, and have his blood work and chromosomes done. We were not asked if we had any other questions or what to do next, just given our requisition forms for lab work and sent on our merry way. Come back for a follow-up in October. Off you go! My mom says that typically of doctors, once they have formed their opinion and obtained their diagnosis, they are no longer interested in the minutiae of the problem. Little details about how picky Sonny is with eating? Not her concern. Sonny's endless bouncing? Not her concern. Coping skills for Hubs and I? Not her department. The more I look back on it, the more frustrated I feel. The goal, we all agreed, is to have Sonny socialize more, with a caring mentor to look out specifically for him so that he can go to school, be able to listen to the teacher, understand he must share and not always get his way. Oh, and the doc says biting is not a bad behavior. It's a way of communicating frustration. Small consolation when you have the purple teeth ring on your skin. Tuesday, garbage truck day. There's something soothing about carting many buckets of warm water from the kitchen to Sonny's pool. It feels purposeful, but not too taxing, and it keeps Sonny away from the TV and CD player and happy. I'm pretty tired at the moment. Pretty tired. Horrendously tired. In fact, I don't know how the average person is supposed to function day in, day out while feeling this tired. Girlie woke me at 5:20 a.m. today, restless in her sleep and soon to wake up. I feel that 5:20 is a pretty uncivilized time to be up, so I was trying to zip in silently, cover her back up if need be, and do so before she was fully awake and demanding that I feed her. On the way there, 3/4 asleep Karen kicked the old medicine cabinet and noisily knocked over Hub's cologne bottles therein. And so that woke Girlie up and she started crying. I had a burning need to brain my husband simply because the noise was so grating at that dark hour, and someone needed to be blamed. He doesn't even wear 99% of the stuff in there, and only casually slaps a little manly scent on if we're going out to dinner, which never happens, or going to a wedding or something. This entry was just interrupted by the call to wipe a bum. "Are you done?" Sonny called out. "You're all done?" I asked. Pronouns are a little shaky with kids at this age, so he often uses you in place of I. It sounds like I'm not attentive by not hanging out with him while he's on the can, but believe me, in the past I sat nearby on my little step stool for ages while he sat there singing his songs and doing whatever. In the end, I just tell him, "Call me when you're ready." It's past noon and I haven't brushed my teeth yet or filled in my eyebrows. The kitchen's full of dirty dishes and various items of baby and little boy clothing litter the TV room. However, I emptied the pee out of the little red pot in the bathroom, so I'm not entirely a dirtbag. Yesterday was a good day, actually. Sonny went to the park, played in his pool, then went to his grandparents' where he had a great time and ate a large dinner. Of course, dinner was comprised of maybe not the best foods that he loves, but he's so picky I could cry. I unwisely spent my free time making more baby food for Girlie. I must be crazy, but the jarred food tastes like crap. I swore I wouldn't have a freezer crammed with baggies of frozen meal cubes as I did with Sonny, but one taste of the jarred sweet potatoes, and I couldn't help being disgusted at how a sweet, tasty vegetable could be so murdered. And so there I was, blending a white potato with formula in my food processor. Madness? Maybe not. Girlie loved it. Time to get the girl. Wednesday, August 15th. I have to say, and this may be redundant, but Wednesday is the worst day of the week. It's just far enough between weekends to inspire despair. The second worst day might be Saturday for me. Ironic. There's just too much pressure on Saturdays to have fun, and doubly so if it's summer. We do nothing usually on the weekend. Laundry and/or grocery shopping doesn't count as doing something. Every Saturday morning, I have this idyllic image of our family at the beach, or exploring a fun new place, or walking in one long, hand-in-hand family chain through some undiscovered fairgrounds with smiles on our faces, cotton candy, and helium balloons. Yeah. This brings to mind a girlfriend who was pregnant with her first child. We lost touch for a while when I had Sunny. 1, because she and her husband live almost an hour and a half away now, and 2, because we temporarily lost common ground. I totally understand. Going out to bars for cocktails with her man, valuable in the working world, and I was racing around cleaning poop and puke off everything and following the rigid breastfeeding clock. And if that sounds bitter, I didn't mean it to be. Who knows though? Maybe bitterness seeps from my subconscious. So yeah, now she's pregnant, and I dare say she's just as green as I was then. I had never diapered anything before, and the closest I came to knowing babies was probably something like, "Here, hold the baby while your aunt and I have a cigarette," when I was a kid. I wasn't even the girl who wanted to hold the baby when they happened to arrive for a visit, which, if I look back now, seems pretty atypical. So, she'll have the baby in less than 4 months, and already she's wondering when she and her husband will go on vacations without children, and she's concerned about not eating too much so she can lose the baby weight as fast as possible. I just smile. Not with contempt, but I smile anyway because she's clinging to the last shreds of a life that will be gone. My mom said it best, and let's see if I can get this right. The first baby is a huge culture shock because it changes your whole life, and the second baby is much easier because that life is gone. Isn't that cheery? 12:20 p.m. I'm losing it. I can feel this tenuous hold on reason and patience slipping away. I feel sick and I feel despair, and despite my Herculean efforts today, I'll probably end up crying. And I'm trying. Oh, how I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. I have hardly raised my voice today because I hate shouting. I am trying to be patient and sympathetic, but he is going to break me. This boy should be wearing a shirt today that says, "Danger, keep out." It has been tantrum after tantrum. He's having a fit over everything. He cried off and on for about 10 minutes because I told him he couldn't bounce. He literally doesn't know what to do with himself. I had to feed Gurley, and he wanted his pool filled up. I nicely told him he just had to wait till I was done. Everything I say today is met with shrieking and a great harangue. After I told him not to bounce, he flung himself against the couch for a while. He rattled the baby gate and tried to swing the door off its hinges. He smacked whatever inanimate object was in his way. He tried to shove his sister's head as he passed by. He sobbed horribly when I pleaded with him to go play in his room for a while. He's chased and harassed the cats about a dozen times today. He's watched his Baby E DVD about 3 times in a row. As I folded his laundry, Gurley lying next to me on the couch was doing this funny flipping her head back and forth thing. I felt dread. I have to remind myself that babies do these crazy things and that she was bored and maybe she didn't like the feel of the couch. God help and forgive me, but I'm terrified she'll turn out to be just like her brother. I'm terrified there is a disintegrating form of autism waiting for her. Terrible, terrible. My parents, sister and niece won't be here for another 3 hours. Sonny is bouncing again. What do I do? I'm supposed to stop him. But I can't take the tantrums, the crying, and the rage anymore. Everything seems hopeless. Do I have years of this ahead of me? I can feel it building, and I want to give in and be the screaming idiot mom. At least I can release a little steam that way. 10:50 p.m. Something magical has happened tonight. I was standing outside saying goodbye to my parents, my sister, and my niece. I picked up my boy, and he actually put his little arms around my neck and rested his cheek against mine. He never does that sort of thing with me. almost never hugs or kisses me. That little cheek against my cheek. Oh, just thinking about it makes me feel so full. It makes everything okay. All the lonely days, my wreck of a body, it's all okay. If I can just conjure that feeling in my mind every day, I might just make it out of this life okay. Friday. I want my coffee. I want to enjoy my coffee in peace. I hear Girly stirring upstairs though now. I wasted my precious coffee drinking time searching for Sonny's .com letters. He has 2 sets of www.com letters cut out of construction paper by his grandmother. There's even 2 little circles for the dots. One is colored blue, the other purple. www.com has been laid out precisely on the floor for days. It gets moved when things get tidied up a bit. So that's what I was looking for, growing increasingly more angry. I can't blame Sonny though, as it was Daddy who carelessly tossed it in a box that houses a different toy. I think if I were to have a precise number representative of how much time I waste per year searching for these stupid things, then I would feel pretty dismayed. Hubs is at work and of course couldn't remember where he put them. I don't know, aren't they on the TV stand? No. Are they on the side table? No. Are they in Girly's chair? No. Finally, I had to do what I always do and put myself in my husband's brain. Voila! There they were, hidden under a puzzle board. Sigh. This kind of crap does not help my cause. I told poor Hubs that I was going to knock his and Sonny's heads together. Ha ha ha. Even though it's a ludicrous and horrible thing to say, I have to laugh at just how damn grouchy it sounds. What a miserable person I am. But honestly, I just want my coffee. Last night was top notch. Hubs and Sonny went swimming. I stayed home with Girly, who woke from a very brief nap and proceeded to scream cry from 7:10 till 7:30, at which point I figured the poor thing could benefit from a little bit of baby acetaminophen. Then we went for a walk around the park. Bear in mind that my hair looked like hell because the humidity had turned it into a fuzzy wig. Also realize I'd been barfed on at least half a dozen times that day. But I was tired and didn't fix myself up to go for a walk. As we made the turn by the school playground, a basketball bounced toward us. Some teenager guys were playing. So I hopped to the side and stopped it with my foot. That's when I heard something to the effect of, "Big Mama's gonna get the ball," followed by a, "Yo, don't say that." I was shocked, and any witty or sarcastic or rapier wit comeback dissolved on my tongue. I passed the ball back and pushed onward. As soon as my back was to them, my eyes welled up with tears. Big Mama! That's just great. Jesus, the whole time I was pregnant with Girly, I craved fried food and sweets. I didn't stand a chance. Am I even caring anymore? I made a point of looking nice every day when I had Sonny. And now, I often don't wear a bra, I have grease stains on my shirts, barf spots everywhere, and this awful coarse hair that has no style. Some days I don't even wear mascara now. This may not sound like much, but I grew up in the 80s. We wore makeup like we wore clothes. So I sit here today, clean shirt, dirty pants, no makeup. Clean hair tossed behind with a freaking butterfly clip. Piece of toilet paper wedged under the nail of my left big toe to keep the nail from growing into the skin. Cracked dry heels. Big jelly stomach, crazy cowlick bangs. Who am I? As I wrote this, Sonny has been busy ripping the stand off a picture frame. The pic is of my dad and I just before I got married. I gotta say, I look pretty cute. Tuesday, January 1st. New Year's Day, or evening, 11:11 p.m. Hi, my name is Karen. I am 35 years old. I have been married for over 5 years, but have been with my husband since we were 20. I have a beautiful son and a beautiful daughter who will be 4 and 1 respectively this year. My son has a behavioral problem. It could be a sensory disorder, but at this point in time, it is called autism spectrum disorder. My daughter has been crawling for 2 months and is too cautious to pursue learning to walk with the same zeal as her brother. She has 8 teeth, a nice little brunette hairdo, and chocolate-colored eyes, completely unlike my and Sunny's blue eyes, or even her father's hazel. She is currently pointing an adorable index finger at everything that catches her interest. I feel a small thrill every time she points at something, as this is a milestone my baby son never achieved, and I was too green as a mother to realize he was supposed to. Oh, but he started pointing at things for the first time within the past few months. My son will eat no meat, no fish, no vegetables, no potatoes in any form except a few fast food fries. He will eat no vegetables or raw fruit except for bananas. He will no longer eat pasta, and he would never eat rice. He eats one kind of instant oatmeal for breakfast and one kind only, cinnamon roll. He eats the same sandwich for lunch and dinner day in, day out. 3 slices of cheese between 2 slices of whole wheat bread, nuked for 30 seconds in the microwave. He will eat pizza, but only after he's pulled off all the cheese and all the pepperoni. He will eat Polish sausage, but only after it has been well inspected for any trace of the sausage casing, so I wasn't entirely right about the meat part. He will try sweet foods, specifically carbs like muffins and cakes, with less fear, but other than that, he vetoes almost all new food on sight. He will actually eat a couple of bites of celery with peanut butter smeared on. Once a week I bake him muffins with apples, yogurt, bran, and whole wheat flour. Always a hit. Sometimes I sneak in baby food carrots or sweet potatoes. Oh, we don't call dinner dinner lately. We call it lunch. This makes Sunny comfortable enough to come eat. We follow a fairly rigid schedule, and if it is altered, Sunny is moody and hostile and generally ill-behaved the whole day. We can never just pop into the grocery store without a huge battle beforehand. Sunny has at least 1 major tantrum per day, but I consider this an improvement. Girlie can already drink well from a cup and feed herself, but of course still needs help. At 10 months, she calls Hubs and I Mama and Dada in the correct context. She often wakes me at least once a night for reasons only a baby knows. She is the size of the average 17-month-old, and the only people who can carry her around for any length of time are Hubs and myself. Sunny has just recently started to kiss me, but doesn't really hug me if I don't ask, but has, on those occasions in which he has pushed me past my breaking point, and I am sobbing. Sunny is a witty, charismatic boy, and Girlie is an absolute button of a baby, and charms someone every time we go out. I am trying to learn to be a better person, lose weight, be more patient, stop shouting so much, stop being so angry, so bitter, stop turning to food for comfort, make better gravy, stop avoiding writing in this journal, go to bed earlier, make my bed on a regular basis, do all the laundry more regularly. Oh, I could go on, but I want to read and go to bed. Thursday. It is nearly February. February. Traditionally, the month Karen is most likely to crawl into a cookie bag and emerge fat and unprepared for spring. Hell, I just finished munching a good-sized square of chocolate before I sat down to write. It's 6:45 p.m. and I am tired. Nothing new, I suppose, but don't think that I haven't got a new paranoia about it since this past Monday. This has been a frantically hideous week. On Monday, I was completely worn out from sympathetic stress and worry for Sunny and that assessment. He was way better than I expected, though. He only cried a little bit when we were leaving. When we arrived at the office, the waiting room had toys, so that soothed him. It all went well, really. The psychologist asked me a series of questions from a checklist. Can Sunny feed himself? Is he toilet trained? Can he do up buttons on his shirt? I know that Sunny is very bright and is advanced for reading at his age. His coordination is excellent. Through the checklist, I realized how far Sunny has come since July when we took him to the pediatrician. He no longer lines up toys. He is feeding himself now. He sits at the table for dinner. He will occasionally try new foods, and my favorite, I can have a small conversation with him. He will tell me details about his day. Then there are those other questions. Does he ever hug you? No, he never hugs me voluntarily, unless he's done something really bad and wants to make amends. Does Sunny have tantrums? Yes. Often? Yes. Does he ever hurt himself, pinch himself, bite himself, or hit himself when he's upset? Yes. So we'll see what comes of it. We were told we would receive a report in 2 months. 2 months. Not 2 weeks, 2 months. I doubt Sonny will be accepted for their services, but that's not a bad thing. When I got home, my mom told me my doctor's office had phoned. I slumped. I knew it was about my thyroid ultrasound from about a month ago, so I phoned. The nodule on my thyroid has gotten bigger. I had to go for blood work, and then I'll go back to the specialist I saw before I was pregnant with Sonny. The one who stuck the needle in my neck when they found the nodule in the first place. It's not cancerous, the doctor informed me tersely, but that doesn't mean it can't become so. Nice. Now put this worry with all this stuff I've been doing for Sonny this week, fighting almost daily just to get our 2 goddamn couches picked up for repair. That's another story. And I am basically head deep in stress, and I'm slipping under even further. Last night as Sonny brought me again to the boiling point, I thought, I can't do this anymore. I need help. I don't ever want to start hitting him. So that's the story. Well, keep fingers crossed that I don't have cancer. I can't deal with this. Thursday, March 20th, 2008. I have been avoiding writing. In fact, I think I've been avoiding most everything since at least Valentine's Day. This is when I dropped into an apathetic hole so deep I've only emerged briefly for a couple of days. I got tired of writing this. It's not a story I enjoy. There are no wacky adventures. There is no romance or intrigue. This is just my life, unvarying and mostly unchanging. I haven't wanted to fill more pages with, "Today Sonny was unbearable," etc., etc. Actually, overall, Sonny has been better. He mostly enjoys school and often participates in all activities, including the infamous circle time. He plays with the kids a little bit. Recently at my mom's, Sonny was reading a book about colors, and when his cousin asked him what he was doing, not only did he answer, he also explained to her what the book was about. Remarkable for Sonny. So after a monthly home visit from Sonny's resource teacher, I was telling my mother how great Sonny is now. How aside from his unending issues of control, he really has no big problems. Of course, I jinxed myself. Yesterday was an utterly horrendous day. I want a better progression. How do I make this happen when I myself am always depressed? How can I help when the first chance I get I want to run away from Sonny, and do, because I find life with him overwhelming even though I love him? It seems like some great cosmic joke. We're going to give this little boy a variety of demons and issues and pair him with a woman who is depressed. Let's see how they do. Yuck, yuck, yuck. It's unbelievably, unfathomably, ineffably hard to be a mother. Nobody told me of the worry, the heartache, the frustration, the exhaustion. Nobody told me that I could have a child with issues and love him so, but guiltily count down the days until he is in school for a full day. I'm admitting this now. I am not a great mother. I don't have enough energy nor enough emotional stamina. We're on waiting lists for behavioral help. Sonny needs lots of exercise, but he doesn't have the opportunity, or rather I don't, to take him out all the time while I care for Girly. Plus, he won't just go for a walk, and we can't afford 2 or 3 times a week at the local play centers. So what do? I hope the time passes by until he's in school full days and not bored and listless at home. Bad mommy. Monday, May 12th, 2008. My writing gets more and more sporadic. My obsession these days is feeling better. Yes, just that, feeling better. A couple of important things happened which kind of turned me around. First, I have to rewind back to winter, when after months of being trapped in the house without sun, to avoid the bitter cold temps outside, I felt myself growing more and more depressed. I hated everything and everyone around me. I could barely muster up enough energy to clean the house, take care of the kids, make dinner. Everything was insurmountable. There were a few too many times where I'd be in bed at night thinking that if I had to feel like this the rest of my life, I just don't want to be here. I thought about swallowing an entire bottle of pain pills. What if it only just made me sick, though? Then in January, I started exercising. In February, my step machine broke. It actually caved in on itself. Still couldn't go outside though. All the blizzards and record snowfalls kept me in again. Then I had 3 doctor appointments. 2 were for the specialist. I had a repeat ultrasound on a thyroid nodule I'd first had biopsied 5 years before. So the ultrasound found my nodule had increased in size, a lot. So 2 appointments with the endocrinologist, 1 for a biopsy, the second for the results. In between these appointments, I had my annual checkup with my doctor, who is a wonderful woman, by the way. So at my doctor's, I finally learned what my weight was. I hadn't stepped on the scale or noted the numbers since before Girlie was born. Fat, fat, fat. 5'5" and 205 pounds. I came home and cried. A blood test had revealed to my doctor that while my thyroid function fits into the normal range, it is at the low end of normal. Or, as I like to think of it, the crappy end. Okay, so finally an answer. Not that I really needed it, as to why I have 0 energy, gain weight no problem, and sleep with a sheet, comforter, grandma blanket folded in half, another grandma blanket on top of that, Sonny's crocheted baby blanket wrapped right around my body, socks, sweatpants, and a nightgown, and I still couldn't warm up sometimes. Oh, and don't forget my friend depression. Depression has been with me since I was 15, but got even worse this past winter. Okay, so that was a bit of a turning point. Then I went for my results with a specialist. Nodule not cancerous, but if it gets any bigger, it's coming out anyway, he told me. Come back in a year after for another ultrasound. So I asked him, could the nodule explain why my thyroid functions poorly? He looked at me as if I was mildly insane. Your thyroid is normal, he said. I argued it was at the low end of normal. He dismissed me completely. Nope, it's normal. Normal, normal, normal. And then I was essentially given the bum's rush out of there. I was pissed. Such arrogance and narrow-mindedness. People who see things in black and white make me crazy. Fuck you, my friend, I thought. And then I moved forward and started thinking in terms of a person who has an underactive thyroid. I've done a lot of reading. I've learned that certain foods can inhibit thyroid function. Conversely, some foods boost thyroid function. I walk all the time now. I try to go for at least 2 walks per day, brisk ones, at least 20 minutes long. I also try to gulp down a lot of water, though I hate drinking water just for the sake of drinking it. I have to say, I have for the most part been feeling better. I no longer have to give myself a pep talk every morning just to make it through the days. Smiling now. Actually smiling. And I have lost 3 fucking pounds. Nothing like the uphill struggle, but like I said, this is my obsession now. Feeling better. In related weight loss news, a couple of weeks ago, Hubs and I went to a wedding reception for a friend of his from work. We had a fantastic time. It was at a very swanky hotel in Toronto. They played great Latin dance music, which I love. I felt really attractive and had a killer pair of new heels. I felt hot. And then it happened. Are you expecting again? Another little buddy for Sonny? No, I stammered. Still trying to lose the girly weight. I died. I just died. I spent the next solid hour trying not to cry. Yep, nothing like the uphill battle.